This is a beautiful story from Caitanya Caritamrta, October 25th, 2010. This comes from the Madhya Lila of Srila Krsnadasa Kaviraja Goswami, chapter 15. Of course, there's a larger title to this chapter, but what we've found, and we're finding many sub-stories within the context of the main story. And we're taking the liberty to give them titles, and oftentimes the title we give is extracted right from the chapter itself, directly from the Bengali or the English translation by Srila Prabhupada. So this story is called Gauranga's Mysterious Vijay Dasmi Leela. And Vijay Dasmi is only a few days ago. And this, of course, is the auspicious day when Ramachandra attained victory over Ravana. And it's called Dussehra. Dussehra means Das-hara. Das-hara, hara means to take away, and Das means the 10 heads. And it came over the years to Dussehra, right? Dussehra. Vijay. Pram Vijayate, Sri Krishna, Sankirtan. So that we're part of the Lord Chaitanya Sankirtan movement, and the holy name is chopping the 10 heads off of us. Lust, anger, greed, envy, pride, this, that. There must be at least 10 of them, 10 different heads that we operate out of. This story goes from Madhya Lila chapter 15, from verse 45 to 67. Gauranga's Mysterious Vijay Dasmi Leela. Shivas Pandite Prabhu Kavi Alingan Kante Dari Kahe Tanre Madhura Vachan. Mahaprabhu then embraced Srivas Pandit, and with his arm about his neck, he began to speak to him in Madhura Vacha. Sweet words. We say Madhuradi Patyara Kilam Madhuram. Leelam Madhuram Vamanam Madhuram Hasitam Madhuram Venu Madhura. Everything is sweet about Krishna, and everything is more sweet about Gauranga. Because he has all the sweetness of Krishna and all the oceanic sweetness of Radharani rolled into one. Madhura Vachan. Madhura Mudra. Mudra means expression. Puts his arm around his neck, around Shiva's, Narada Muni's neck. Radharani is putting her arm around Narada Muni's neck. Listen, Narada, learn how to sing, will you? Narada Muni Bhajaya Vina Radhika Ramana Radhe Radhika Ramana Radhe Radhika Ramana Radhe Narada Muni Bhajaya Vina. So this way, Gauranga has his arm around the neck of Srivas Thakur. Such a sweet and beautiful expression. That itself is sweet love. Gauranga puts his arm around Lalita and Vishaka and the Gambhira, Ramananda Roy and Vishaka. Radharani puts her arms around the neck of Lalita and Vishaka, and it's described in Govinda Lilamrita. Krishna says, Radharani and Krishna are dancing in the center. Then Krishna breaks away and says, Lalita, you come. And Radharani beach faint. Radharani's in the middle. And then Radharani, the gopis, Lalita and Vishaka, they put their arms on Radharani's shoulder, and she puts her arms in her waist. And so these three gopis, Radharani in the middle, and then Lalita on her right, and Vishaka on her left, and Radharani's around their super thin waist, so you don't have to reach very far, and they're like this, and they're dancing, and Radharani's playing, and they're looking at each other like this, and they're dancing around like this. Krishna's dancing. So this position of Radharani, Gauranga is in that same mood. He can't bear the separation. He looks at the rising moon and says, oh, this is Ashwin Maina. This is a few nights ago, it was a Purnima. Ashwin Maina is the Maharas dance. The full moon night of the Sharad season was a few nights ago. And Lord Chaitanya saw that rising moon coming over the house of Kashi Mishra, rising from the ocean. The moon rises in the east, as you all know. It's rising from the ocean. That moon is rising from the ocean of Krishna's heart, Krishna Chandra. He didn't see the moon rising, he saw Krishna rising. Radha and Radha Bhav. Krishna's rising. I'm trapped in these rooms. Then, oh, Lalita Vishaka. And he puts his arms around Gauranga Mahaprabhu. This is in Gambhira Leela, Ati Leela, crying, clutching their necks. So Gauranga Leela always takes us to Krishna Leela. And Krishna Leela is understood by the mercy of Gauranga Leela. So Madhura Vacha, very sweetly, Kante Dhari, Kante, Tulsi Kante Dhara, Murli Dhara, Haladhara, Dhara means to hold. He's holding his neck. Kante Dhare Madhura Vachan. Shivas Pandit Prabhu Kari Alingana. Alingana means prema, he embraced. Mahaprabhu embraced, first he embraced Shivas Pandit. With his arm around his neck, so his arm around his neck, he started speaking sweetly. I love you. And then, what did he say? Tomara gare kirtan, ami nitya nachiba, tumi deka paibe ara kehana dekiba. Mahaprabhu asked, and Srivas Thakur, in the sweetest of sweet voices, Mahaprabhu asked, Shivas, perform congregational chanting daily, and be assured that I will also dance in your presence. You will be able to see this dancing, but not others. Premanjana churita bhakti vilochanena santaksadeva hridyeshi vilokayanti. Yam shava sundaram achintya gunas rupam govindamadi purusham tamaham bhajami gorangadi purusham tamaham bhajami. Govinda Goranga, Gaur Govinda. You can see me, Srivas. You're Narada Muni. You're Bhakti Avatar. You're Prema Bhakti Avatar. Chant every day. You'll see me. I'll be there. That's definitely Madhura Vachan. He's saying, preface it. Krishnadas Kaviraj says, he said something sweet. Lord Gauranga said, Madhura Vachan, something very, very sweet. Wouldn't this be sweet, nice news? Our Sachinandan Swami has gone out on thousands and thousands of Harinams. And one day before he goes on Harinam, can you imagine, Gauranga comes and says, oh my dear devotee, now from now on, every time you go out on Sankirtan, you will see me dancing there. That would be something very sweet to hear. Very sweet, reassuring, encouraging, and you would probably faint if you had that experience of hearing those Madhura Vachan. Be assured, I'll be there. I will be there. Gare Kirtan. He says, in your house, he says, the Prabhupada, of course, this was done in 1975. This book was translated in 2 months. Or maybe it was produced in translated very short time. And Prabhupada was, and so he gave us all the word for word. So that was his mercy. So we can elaborate and go a little deeper. And then his assistants, and they all work together to get the English and get the book out. But it says, Tomara Gari Kirtan, Ami Nitya Nachiva. He said, in your gar, in your house. That's Srivasangam, we all know that. The nocturnal kirtans in Srivasangam. But the translation says, perform congregational chanting daily, and be assured I'll dance in your presence. So Prabhupada he knows what it says, and he could have said that, but he wants to expand it. That, well, Shiva's house is only a small place, and you have to go to Mayapur to be there. So Prabhupada is saying, well, wait a minute, Shiva's Thakur's house is everywhere. Because Narada Muni travels everywhere. From Pataloka to Swargaloka to Vaikuntha-loka, and even to Vrindavan. So Prabhupada is saying, perform congregational chanting daily. He didn't say where. The verse is, Tomaragar, in your house. Lord Chaitanya is saying, if you want to take Srivas, in your house, which is commonly known as Anga. Anga means lima, or your portico, or your veranda. Anga means limb, an extension. your house, the courtyard, Srivas Angam, is the Anga, Chibanga, right? Perform in your house, not anybody else's house, not a Maraikuta's house, or it has to be you because you're an Antaranga Bhakta, and in your house, perform kirtan. And it says, Nitya Nachiva. And I will dance there. Tumi Deka Pabe Na Dekiba. You will see me, and no one else. So the verse is literally saying, so someone will say, oh, Swami Bhaktivedanta, his translations are not accurate. What is this? Because they have no brain to understand Prabhupada's perception or realization. Because it takes a bhakta to comment on Shastras. It takes a bhakta to write and translate Shastras. A PhD in Bengali doesn't mean anything. So Prabhupada, he knows what he's saying. He didn't miss the point. If he wanted to miss the point, then he could hide it and not give the word for word. Right? If you want to kind of create a new slant on the scriptures where you don't give anybody the verses so they find out, well, hey, wait a minute, you said this, but the verse says that. So is the verse wrong? No. Is Prabhupada's translation wrong? No. Our understanding may be imperfect, undoubtedly. But he's saying, perform congregational chanting daily. So that's an instruction to Srivas, and it's an instruction to everybody in the line of Srivas. Because who is Srivas? Srivas is Jiva Tattva. Are we Jiva Tattva? I hope so. Maybe, well, I don't know. Maybe some of you are Surup Shakti in disguise. So he's telling, you're the best Jiva Tattva around here. You're Narada Muni, but you had a past life. Every saint had a past. Every sinner has a future. Very interesting. I mean, the verses are unlimited. So Prabhupada is such a beautiful expansion of consciousness and of understanding he's giving us in these few words. Hey Jivas, perform congregational chanting, become pure, and wherever you chant congregationally, I will come there. I will not just come there and sit on a chair and come in a nice comfy chair with a bunch of servants fanning me and have an air cooler on both sides of my asana, nice air cooler, and passively and very comfortably watch you sweat it out and dance. I'll be right there, Nachiva, Nitya Nachiva. I'll be dancing with you side by side, wherever that happens to be. Be assured. And if you are eligible, you will see me. First believe it, then become qualified and you will see me. Others will not see me. And they'll think, what are you looking at? And you'll think, I'm looking at Gauranga. And the other people say, he's looking at the roof. He's looking at that girl on the first floor. No, he's looking at Gauranga. You ever see Prabhupada look down? He never looked down, never once. Because you know, the demigods, their feet don't touch the ground. So the demigods' feet don't touch the ground. What about Gauranga? And what about Krishna? So when Prabhupada's walking, he's walking like this. Ah, Gauranga. Radharani. Krishna. Damodar. Govinda. He never went to... We had to stand on a chair and talk to him because he was way up top somewhere. You ever saw? You can look at 10,000 photos of 100,000 photos of Prabhupada came out in a different way. I mean, everyone's head goes like this. Prabhupada's head went like this. It was just put on that way. It was just manifested that way. Vaikuntha man. Examine. You look at thousands of pictures. Everyone's like... Evastra matake diha e sava prasad dandavata karyamar shamahya aparad Chandra seva charyami kari jachi sanyas dharma nahi karyami nija dharma nash Chandra prema vashami Chandra seva dharma taha chari kari jachi batu lera karma Shivas, take this Jagannath Prasad and this Mahaprasadi Vesh, Vastra, and take them to Mother Shachi. Offer her obeisances, and please beg her to forgive me for my offenses. Shama Aparad. I have given up the service of my mother, and I have accepted the sannyas order. Actually, I shouldn't have done this, for by doing so I have destroyed my religious principles. I am subordinate to the love of my mother, and it is my duty to serve her in return. Instead of doing so, I have accepted the renounced order. Certainly this is an act of a madman, Batulera karma. Prema Vashami. Prema Vash, I am controlled by her love, I am subordinate to love. Yet nevertheless, I've done such a terrible act. And then we'll find out more what Lord Chaitanya says. Although it says mother of Vachan, it seems maybe not so sweet. But it's actually also very sweet, because it's full of his love for his mother, Jagannatha and Shachi. Sri Caitanya Caritamrta ki jai.